in the tanks. So you will lose 2 more funding, and my prestige will go up 1 more.
You're also going to need to mark that because a boss allows the playing of Quartet, which is a really nice event for the US player later on. This is one of the strongest US openings I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it really is. I'll get rid of that out of play. Another reason why I did that regime change so fast was I have in my hand a card that it's a good thing that you guys can all see it because it's one of the automatic play cards. And if I had gone soft, because I have to, the elections are going to happen, I would not be able to go in and do that regime change.
So this is an automatic event. The event triggers and the US player gets the 3 ops. So Mike, which one do you want to do first?
I'll take one of those. I'll take that plot off of the board.
There you go. And now you must resolve the event.
Yes, we have to do an election. So, I rolled the U.S. posture. So I'll go ahead and roll that first.
Yes, U.S. posture 1 through 3 they go soft, which he does, and so that'll make it interesting. He can't do any further regime changes until he's hard again. But when you're soft, it's easier to get your prestige up if you ever get into a hole with prestige, which he's not. So that's a very strong opening for the U.S.
My prestige would go up 1 more because my GWAT penalty is 0. It's a +1 prestige. If not, it would be a -1. But since I'm topped out at 12, it can't go any higher.
Correct. And whenever the world GWAT marker is in the 0 space, no matter what happens with this card, it's going to give you that prestige. A lot of things going the U.S. player's way, but here we now, after the second card of the U.S. player, we go ahead and resolve the plot. So I reveal this plot. It's a 2 marker. It's a Muslim country, so my prestige goes up by 1. In a non-Muslim country, the plot value would be determining how much my prestige went up. But in this case, it's a Muslim country. But more importantly, his prestige will go down by 1. And then the plot marker is put back into my available pool, and it's back to my turn. Yeah, guys, sometimes Ventrilo's been acting really screwy lately, and people have trouble with audio being having to the jihadist player side. What a mess we have. So I guess what we do now is we're going to go ahead and do another plot in Afghanistan. Now, you will notice that I already laid some plots down, but I didn't play them for their op values. So this is technically my first plot, and I needed to get rid of biometrics because I want to be able to travel around, and that card would screw things up. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of the active cells in Afghanistan and try to place a plot. Now to do so, I need to dice against the governance of the target country, Afghanistan, and if I roll a 1 through 3, then a plot is placed. And I rolled a 6, which is all I've rolled so far, and that's a failure, but nothing happens to the cell. He's okay. And that's all I can do with that. So what to do with my next card? Gosh, I hate doing this, but I'm going to have to reveal a little bit of what I'm up to with this. I'm going to go ahead and play Intel Community, but I'm going to go ahead and use the ops first. And let's go ahead and try to place 2 more plots in Afghanistan using my active cells. and I rolled a 5 and a 2. The 5 is a failure, but the 2 is a success, so we'll go ahead and put a plot marker down. Now, when I'm putting my plot markers down with an op card, the highest value of a plot marker I can put is according to the op value of the card played. So if I play a 2-op card, I can only put a plot 1 or a plot 2 marker down. I couldn't put a 3 marker down. In this particular case, a plot 3 marker, plot 2, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. In some cases it will. In this case it's not. Because if you put a plot, if a plot is resolved in a good or a fair country, Muslim country, then you roll a number of dice equal to the plot value against the target country's governance. So a plot that goes off in, say, Pakistan or the Gulf states could degrade the target country's governance. So that's where the plot value can be more important. In the case of Afghanistan here, it's not. Now I have to resolve the event, and I have to reveal to Mike what I have in my hand, and here's what I've got in my hand. And Mike may then play one action, one-op value with the Intel Community card.
Okay, for a 1-op, I think I will, oh, that's a tough call here. Pretty much the only things that I could do, I will put it towards reserves.
That's your best move, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Reserves act like an ops queue for the player. You put something in reserves, you can put up to 1 or 2 ops in reserves, and then later you can draw reserves and add it to the op value of a card played to increase that card's op value.
That was your second card play too, correct?
That was my second card play, so back over to Mike.
Alright, we will play this card for my first card play action, Kurdistan, but we will use it for the 2 ops and use our 1 reserve to make it a 3 ops so we can get rid of that plot that was put in Afghanistan.
Okay, it was a plot 2. I accidentally sent it back to my file instead of unmasking it, but it was a plot 2.
That's alright. And let's see here, for the next play, we will go ahead and play former Soviet Union, and again we will play it for 2 ops, and we will roll for a war of ideas in the Gulf states. I want to try to turn that into a good governance there. To do this, I need to roll 1 dice. A 5 or a 6 is a success for me. There are some modifiers to this. 1 would be my prestige, which would be a +2. There would also be the world GWAT relations. If it was opposite of my posture, the U.S. posture, 1, 2, or 3. So in other words, if it was a hard 1, 2, or 3 right now, that would add to my die roll, but it isn't. It's just at 0, so there's nothing there. There's also a +1 because I'm trying to turn it to good. So the difference between the 2 is I'm going to get a +1 to my die roll. And I end up with a 3, which is not close enough. If it would have ended up at a 4, I would have gotten an 8 there, but I didn't.
Yes, an aid marker would also add a. It stays in the country, and it would add a +1 modifier to future War of Ideas rolls. So we dodged a bullet there. So back over to me then, huh?
I believe so.
Well, you know it's coming here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Clean operatives. Take 2 cells out of the big A and stick them in the US of A. It's not adjacent. We're playing the event here. Clean operatives is just a deadly, nasty event. And it's just too bad I couldn't get a WMD. I was playing Volko last time. I had this card, Martyrdom, and a WMD card in my hand. And I whiffed on the WMD roll to get one a loose nuke from Russia. But that was a chance for a knockout blow on turn 1. That's card 1. And the question is, what do I do with card 2?
You realize I was 1 card away from a win in this first turn also. If I just would have had either a Predator or Special Forces, I could have got you on no cells left. Because everything was active in Afghanistan and you had 1 in Central Asia.
Yeah, but you the ones that were active in Afghanistan, I could have gotten them back. Because you don't have enough cards to get all. You'd have to play 3 cards to do it. If it looks like that's going to happen, I'm going to run somebody into Iran.
Very quickly, huh?
Yeah, the problem here is that now I've done that, what do I want to do as far as plots go? Because I know he's got 3 cards left. Probably some 3s in his pocket, but maybe not. Do I want to go ahead and use the Martyrdom now, or do I want to let him sweat it out? He could kill one of my cells, but there's no way he's going to get both of them. And that leaves Martyrdom still in play. What I'd really like to do is pass, but I can't. So what to do, what to do. I think we're going to try a couple more plots, and I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to use the Detainia Release card. You already know I have it, so you're not going to use it. And we're going to go ahead and use that in Afghanistan with the active cell, and also in Iran. So both, or excuse me, Central Asia, they're both going to go active. First die is Central Asia. Wow, 5s and 6s. I'm playing the wrong side tonight. Afghanistan. I've rolled 2 6s and 2 5s. This is ugly. Oh, back over to you.
Yeah. I wish I had your dice. Man alive.
Well, I got awfully lucky playing ASL yesterday, so I guess this is my comeuppance.
There you go. We're gonna have to play this sucker.
Okay, so what are we doing with Lashkar?
Sorry, I was muting him right now. Okay. We are going to use the 2 ops, and we're going to roll in the Gulf states again. Again, it'll be the same thing. Of 4, 5, or 6 is going to be a good roll.
Well, that'll get you an aid marker.
That will get me an aid marker.
It's funny, you haven't rolled anything higher than a 3, and I haven't rolled anything less than a 5.
Yeah.
That's saving my bacon, because I had a terrible opening hand.